Who's going 91 miles per hour in a 2008 speed zone?
We don't even have a seatbelt.
That's next on Hotline TV.
From the Watergate Building in Washington, this is Hotline TV. Now, here's Hotline editor, John Mercurio.
All right, for all you political nerds out there, here's a little game to play while you're standing in line at the DMV. Here to play with us, as always, is our resident humorist, Mike Memoli.
That's a good one.
Mondays with Memoli.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a very, very complicated game here. It's a little bit of a word association, sign association. I'm going to hold up a sign, and you are going to tell me which presidential candidate you think it reminds you most of and why. And then I'll do the same thing for you. First of all, one way.
One way. All right, well, you know, let's give that to Michael Bloomberg because he seems to be pointing one way, and that's towards possibly running for president. And the reason I say that is because he feels the need to weigh in on every single thing that goes on today.
Right.
You know, just today he was talking about, you know, donors, you should think, or just this weekend he was thinking, donors, you should think about who you give to before you give. Oh, well, thanks, Michael Bloomberg.
Right, and why is he even talking about money? If he does run, which is still a huge if, the guy's got $1 billion.
Exactly.
He's going to fund the whole race by himself.
Unity 08 is all over that. But, you know, I mean, I guess part of it is the fact that he's the mayor of New York, and so the media's always asking about everything. But does he really feel the need to?
Exactly. All right, you go next, please.
All right, next, keep out.
There's so many keep out options. I can't even start to imagine. Look, Fred Thompson, Newt Gingrich, Al Gore. But you know, here's the biggest keep out. Wesley Clark, stop talking about running for president. Actually, you haven't talked about running for president in a while, but why don't you just finally announce that you're not running?
Yeah,
for
he'll show
president.
up in April of 08 and then fail miserably like he did last time.
Right, exactly.
Well, after all the primaries are over.
Mary, help me, Mary. All right.
Stop. Well, stop. I mean, all the Republican 08 candidates are holding up a big stop sign for Fred Thompson. Mm-hmm. You know, all the best laid plans of Mitt Romney and Rudy Giuliani and John McCain all of a sudden come to a screeching halt because Fred Thompson decides, you know, there's an opening for me and I'm going to go do it.
I think it actually becomes kind of an interesting race, though. You've got Thompson. If he does enter, you've got Thompson. He probably hurts Romney the most. Also, I think he hurts Giuliani. It could become a Thompson-McCain race. Those two guys are buddies. They're good friends. I mean, the whole idea that he could run against McCain is kind of hard to believe.
Law and Order Special Victims Unit. There we go. All right, next up, no right turn.
Over to the camera. Yeah, that's got to be for Rudy Giuliani. I mean, you know, he's happy, I think, in this after the Supreme Court ruling on abortion, if the conversation is about judges, which he said he likes judges like Sam Alito and John Roberts, who of course voted with the majority in the court decision. He's not taken the right turn that a lot of people said. He was in Iowa last weekend. He told a bunch of anti-abortion activists, you guys need to get beyond the issue of abortion if you want to win in 2008.
And then what happened that week? A gun shooting that brought up the issue of guns and the abortion ruling. It was just the week he couldn't have avoided. They didn't want to answer any of the questions.
And you also saw his numbers start to drop against John McCain. All right.
No crossing. Well, who do we give that to? Chuck Hagel. First, he's somebody who was mentioned as possible in independent candidacy. He had his big non-announcement a couple of months ago.
It was a wonderful speech.
Right. It brought everyone to Nebraska just for him to say nothing. So here's a guy hold up a no crossing sign because he hasn't made up his mind. And now his own Nebraska Senate seat might even be in jeopardy as a fallback. He
could be the Joe Lieberman on the right of the 2008 Senate campaigns. He might have a strong primary challenge. And he comes back from Iraq. After a trip to Iraq, one of the first things he says is a quick little snipe at John McCain. Well, I didn't spend any time shopping when I was in Iraq. This is a guy who enjoys crossing his own party.
All right. Next up, do not enter.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of a repeat of the one we were just talking about a couple of minutes ago about stop. But look, I think you got to give that one to Fred Thompson. Republicans, especially Republicans in the race, telling him, do not enter, do not get in this race. A lot of people wanting him to get in, but I think that's a sign that he should be paying attention to. All right, just one more. Let's go with Detour Ahead.
Detour Ahead. Well, let's see. We've had Bill Richardson this week answering questions about vice president, so already people are throwing blocks up for him. And then we have fundraising, still a big detour for a lot of candidates. I mean, Mike Huckabee only raising $500,000, and among others who haven't raised any money. So how do they keep moving forward when they haven't shown any signs of progress?
On the flip side, just to end this excellent segment on an up note, Ron Paul getting a lot of good press this week, stronger than expected fundraising, a lot of good press. I think there could be a Ron Paul Blumett. There was actually a story about a Ron Paul Blumett in one of the Texas papers today. I'm getting behind. I'm getting on the Ron Paul bandwagon.
And he was in the Politico.
And he was.
It doesn't get bigger than that.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mike Memoli, our resident funny man.
Yeah.
We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow on Hotline TV.